Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing a video on how to stay on top of your homework load. We are back to school now, and obviously the homework load can get quite a lot overwhelming, and it can feel like you have tons to do and you're never going to get through it all. So I wanted to give you 10 tips on how to stay on top of it, and how can things make it easier for you to do, or how to use certain times of the day more effectively so that you can get it all done. So the first one is use any downtime that you have to do your homework. So maybe if that's lunchtime, if you have any extra time, if you've already had your lunch, or if you are eating and you are able to do your homework at the same time, obviously that is going to be a very good use of your time. Lesson time, if they give you any extra time to do some studying or revision, maybe try and get your homework done then, and try not to mess around with your friends or anything. So take advantage of any time that you get given, so then obviously it's going to be getting it over and done with, and then when you go home you're going to have more free time to do what you want to do, rather than having to do the homework which you could have done in that time, but because you was messing around you couldn't. So obviously just try and use any downtime or any time that you get given, try and use it as effectively as possible. Next one is, if your school doesn't actually have an app where it gives you all the homework on, make sure that you write down every single due date and every single assignment, so then obviously everything is organised for you and you're not going to have to try and remember everything. And then obviously if it's not written down, you're going to be more likely to forget, and obviously you don't want to forget something, as obviously then it's going to be harder to stay on top of it. And then at the last minute, or if the teacher say, oh, don't forget the homework that's due tomorrow, you're going to be I've literally just got tomorrow to do it, and then you might have organised to do some other homework that night, and then that would cause even more of a problem. So obviously just try and make sure that you do have everything written down. So the next one is quite an obvious one, but obviously make sure that you always do the homework that is due in first. Do that one first. So the one that's due in sooner, make sure that you do that one first, as obviously you don't want to do one that's due in next week if you have something due tomorrow, as otherwise then you won't have time to do the one that's due tomorrow because you've just done the one that's due next week kind of thing. So obviously just make sure you are prioritising your time more effectively with the ones that are actually due sooner. The next one is create yourself study sessions where you can do your homework in a certain amount of time, and you can actually use a timer on your phone to set a reminder to you, so then obviously you don't forget to do your study session, or time where you do your homework. Obviously you can call it whatever you want to, but I just thought that would be obviously what it's kind of called. So just have time away, set away in your evening if you come home from school, or if on the weekend just set an hour where you just do your homework, or create a little study schedule routine as well for each day. The next one is try to make sure that you do your homework in the times that you actually work best. So when you concentrate the most and when you are the most productive, try and make sure that you do your homework in them times, as then obviously you're not going to be spending hours procrastinating. You're actually going to be I'm going to do my homework and I'm going to get straight on with it, and then that will get it over and done with. And also being quite disciplined with yourself too is actually quite good. So don't let yourself do something that you want to do until you've completely finished it, and then that will help your concentration too. Next one is minimize any distractions that you could possibly have. So obviously that could be turning off your phone, or any people just tell them that you're doing your homework and you would rather not be interrupted for a little while. If you don't have any distractions, you will be able to do it a lot quicker, and it would be more effective, and obviously your concentration will be a lot better, which means that your actual quality of your work will actually be better too, which is obviously good. And then afterwards you can do what you want to do, and you're not going to be in between kind of doing what you want to do and the homework, and then in the end it kind of feels like you haven't really done anything at all, or you haven't got to do what you wanted to do because you was worrying about the homework. So it's just easier just to minimize all the distractions and just get straight on with it. The next one is don't forget to schedule yourself little breaks in between your studying, because obviously you don't want to be sitting down for hours at a time without any breaks in between, because obviously you need to make sure that you are staying hydrated, as I have a video on that as well, as you guys probably already know. So but if you do need to know how to stay hydrated and remember to drink, obviously go back and watch that video, as obviously that's really important for your concentration. Make sure that you give enough time for you to go to the toilet, have a drink, or also just give yourself a little bit of a breather. That you have timers on your breaks, and obviously you don't get too distracted for too long. The next one is make sure that you always check over your homework once it is actually done, to make sure that you are happy with it, and you have the brief of what you have to do, and make sure that you have actually done it all. As soon as you've done it, hand it in, and that will really help your activity as well, because obviously you have just handed in something and it's you have achieved something. And if you have written a to-do list, you can cross it off and you can see how much that you've actually managed to achieve, and obviously that is going to help you to get on with more and your motivation to try and do some more homework. The next one is make sure that you pay enough attention in class, as obviously quite a lot of like homework is like what you could have been doing in your lesson. So obviously if you were listening, your homework is going to be a lot easier and you're going to understand it. So then obviously if you understand it, you're going to be doing it a lot quicker. This obviously counts, like if you need help on like something that you don't understand in the lesson, make sure to ask a question, because then that will make your homework a lot easier too. The next one is encourage and be proud of yourself for every piece of homework that you've actually done and completed, as that will motivate you. So obviously you need to make sure that you are actually looking at what you have achieved rather than what you haven't done, because if you keep looking at what you haven't done, you're going to like defeat yourself and you're never going to like progress. So you need to make sure that you are actually looking at what you've already achieved, as obviously like achieving a piece of homework that you thought that you wasn't going to be able to do, or you wasn't actually going to do, is actually quite a big thing. And obviously it might not feel like it is, but you had to get the courage to do it. You had to actually understand it, you had to read it, you had to actually do it, you had to set that concentration time to be able to do it. So you have actually achieved quite a lot in that time, and you've handed it all in, and hopefully you have done it before the due date, which means that you haven't handed it in late either, and you've stopped the chance of you getting a detention, which is obviously really good. These are all the tips that I have, and obviously just make sure that you are like giving yourself enough time to look after yourself as well. I do have videos on that if you'd like to go and watch any of them. But this is just like the tips on how to stay on top of your homework, and I hope these were helpful. So if you have any more videos that you'd like to see, could you comment them down below so I can see what you guys would like to see. Thank you for watching. Could you like and subscribe if you like this video? Can you click on the notification bell and see more of my videos? So thank you for watching. Bye.